I'm a child of Roman Catholicism and premium cable. Back in my youth, Comedy Central was just old comedy specials and hours of reruns of sketch comedy like Kids in the Hall and Saturday Night Live. Some of you might remember Mike Myers' character Linda Richmond, host of Coffee Talk. She talked in an exaggerated New York accent peppered with faux Yiddish phrases. She obsessed over Barbra Streisand. And at some point during the sketch, she would inevitably become verklempt, overcome with emotion, and she would encourage people to discuss amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss. Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal is neither new nor a deal. Discuss. And my favorite, the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. Discuss. And here's one of mine. Organized religion is neither organized nor religion. Let's discuss. In today's gospel, religious authorities go to Jesus' disciples and wonder why Jesus is meeting with sinners. You know, people like you and me. Jesus overhears them. You know, you could have just come out with it to me, but since I've got your attention, go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. He echoes the prophet Hosea, who we heard from this morning. God desires steadfast love, mercy in Matthew's translation, and not sacrifice, the knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings. It's a critique of organized religion. Organized religion which is neither organized nor particularly religious. Let's discuss. What follows is a mild defense of what we all call organized religion. Many of us, even churchgoers like us, are, let's just say, skeptical of organized religion. Somewhere, somehow, someone, maybe it was a clergy person, a believer, some group or ministry, a parish, a denomination, an entire faith, did something unconscionable. Or at least something that struck us as wrong. We didn't lose our faith in God. But our faith in the people around us, in the things we built up around God, absolutely take a hit. Maybe we didn't go to church for a long time until we found a home again. But even if we came back, we looked at things differently. And even now, back at home, we always hold a little bit of ourselves back. We held and hold on to religion. Didn't lose our faith. But the organized part, we had a problem. Many of you might have had a similar experience. My wife Allison was in a wedding party for the bride, who was a devout Roman Catholic. And at one point, the priest, after the trappings of the wedding rehearsal had ended, informed the bridal party that, okay, now that the wedding part is done, we're going to celebrate communion now. Many of you, he gently said, are aware that in the Roman Catholic Church, if you aren't a Roman Catholic, you can't participate in Eucharist, in communion. I want you to know right now that I understand that this is an ecumenical gathering. It's a wedding, so people are here from lots of traditions. Roman Catholic, other Christian denominations, people of no faith. And I want you to know, he said. I sat at the back watching this happen. I want you to know that I'm not checking cards at the altar. Okay? I have plausible deniability. Please, as you will, come up and celebrate with this lovely couple. Everyone of different faiths breathed a sigh of relief. At which point the bride, a devout Roman Catholic, voiced her displeasure with the priest's seeming easing of Catholic doctrine. And she announced that people who were not Roman Catholic, despite what the priest had granted, were not welcome. I write it off as a bridezilla moment. Happens to the best of us, even groomers. Somewhere, somehow, someone, maybe it was a clergy person, maybe it was a believer, a group, a parish, a denomination of faith, did something unconscionable, or at least something that struck us as wrong. We didn't lose our faith in God, but you turned like my wife did and said, "This is why." It's not religion that we have a problem with, it's the organization. Really, our problem is authoritarianism. Jesus tells Matthew to follow him. He looks at a representative of the oppressive power and says, reorganize your life. Get up from the tax booth and follow me. And somehow, Matthew does just that. Somehow that word, those words, follow me, kick something on in Matthew's brain, heart, soul. And he turns. That turn is a serious one. It takes effort to walk behind Jesus, to follow him where Jesus is going to go. Takes discipline. And it's the word disciple. It's all involved. It takes commitment, dedication. It takes seriousness. It takes organization. There are things you ought to do. There are things you can't do. If Jesus is Lord, we who know his grace believe so, then we have to take that seriously. We need to be praying and studying individually and in groups. We need to be worshiping consistently. We need to be sharing our faith. We need to be out in the world working for justice and peace. We need to be out there failing, messing up, and coming back and being forgiven. We need communities that can shelter and sustain people for the hard work of God's kingdom. We need organization. And we're not organized. We believe whatever we want and do whatever we like. And then ask the church to declare that sacred. Now, that follow me was a check on Matthew's heart. To turn him and us aside from what holds us down and holds us back. And get serious about the kind of life God hopes for us. We're not organized. And religion needs to be organized. And religion needs to be religion. Because sometimes religion mistakes the trappings of religion, mistakes the organization for the religion itself. As liturgical Christians, as Episcopalians, churchgoers, we can get into this. Church for us is stoles and vestments, it's candles and music, it's the altar coverings and the banners and the flowers and the liturgy. But all of that stuff is pointing to ultimate reality. It's not reality itself. It's the organization, the conditioning, the formation of us for the holy. And every once in a while, we mistake it for the holy. Before I became a priest, I was involved with philanthropists, grant-making organizations. And a gentleman had was promoting a new book on strategic giving, how to organize your foundation or fund or business's giving in a way that was strategic. How you could organize yourself for really effective giving, to have make a real difference in your community. He had all kinds of advice about how to structure your giving, about what organizations to give to, and how. A critic got up during one of these book promotions and said, I hesitate to make this comparison, but I have a funny feeling if you were asked to give advice to the Nazis, you'd tell them how to organize better. You can't separate, he said, how you do things from what you're doing. You can't have strategy and organization for nothing. We have to have religion. It's not religion that Hosea is critiquing. It's a certain kind of religion, one that has lost touch with the reasons for it. Therefore, I have hewn them by the prophets. I have killed them by the words of my mouth, and my judgment goes forth as the light. I desire steadfast love, not sacrifice, the knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings. All these sacrifices should be training you for the holy. They should be an education in mercy, the mercy shown to all sinners in Jesus Christ. It should be about knowing that and sharing it with the world, rather than just going through the motions of yet another sacrifice for the people. Our psalm today demonstrates God's impatience. It's not that God doesn't see the offerings. Your offerings are ever before me. They're always there. You think I want bull calves and goats? I own all these goats. You can't give me back what's already mine. If I were hungry, I wouldn't tell you the whole world is mine. Do you think I eat bull flesh and goat blood? No. This is about mercy. This is about love. It isn't a critique of religion as such. It's a critique of a tendency in religion. Religion actually has to be religious. And that's what Jesus is calling the people back to. Take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well. It's your belief, your hope, your love that is saving you. Not the religious trappings, not the sacrifices. It's the demonstration of sharing what Jesus gave to you with others. Instantly, the woman was made well. Not by the law, but by love. Jesus goes to, and did you hear, all the flute players are making a commotion? Did you hear that? Well, that's a religious observance. He walks in and hears the gathered people mourning, as is appropriate. But it's a false religion. Because the minute Jesus tells them what's actually happening in their midst, they laugh. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Mourning and wailing and singing and playing our flutes in light of death. And Jesus says, no. What religion is about is going into that room and saying sin and death do not have the last word. Go away. The girl isn't dead. She's sleeping. She lives. You and I, our religion, is to convert a world of sin and death, to participate in God's going out into the world to transform it, so that sin and death do not have the last word, but the light and life and love of God. We remember who and whose we are. We offer to God a sacrifice of thanksgiving, and we make good on our vows to the Most High. In organized religion, we call upon God in the day of trouble, and He has and He will continue to deliver us. I am a child of premium cable, bad sketch comedy, and organized religion worthy of the name. So let's you and I remember that our first identity is children of God and followers of Jesus. There's a terrible world of sin and sickness and death out there. And we're called to bring light and life and love to it. Let's discuss how we're going to do that.